All right, guys. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how to draw your hand. So we're going to do a new file, and we're going to choose US paper, and let's change this from 8.5 to 11, and this from 11 to 8.5. So it's going to be landscape view, and everything else you can just leave the same. There we go. So first thing you're going to want to do is let's create a new layer, and let's turn off our background layer, and we're going to call this layer right here hand base. It's going to be your base color. So now on this layer, use the paintbrush tool. Have it be about 50% hardness and a pretty big size, maybe like somewhere in that range. And as far as picking the color, halfway between orange and red, right around there, up in this top left-hand corner. And it's going to be kind of dependent upon, your skin color, of course, but this is about where you're going to find. So it might be a little bit, darker for the base or a little bit lighter. But this is going to be just our base color. And you don't need to worry about like the darks and lights or shades or anything like that. This is just going to be kind of the shape of your hand. So go ahead and put your hand in a position that it's fairly comfortable, that you can come back to it, and just kind of remember how you have it so that when you move your hand, which you inevitably will, you'll know how to put it back. So I'm going to start here kind of my wrist, and I'm going to add a little bump right there for my bone that kind of sticks out. Go over here to this side, make sure it's all filled in. And then I'm going to just kind of start creating the shape of my hand. So I got my thumb that kind of sticks out over here. If you're left-handed, it's going to be kind of the opposite. And you could pause the video around now and just kind of take the time to figure it out. Be thinking about, how long is like your thumb compared to the length of your fingers. You don't necessarily need to do each individual finger separately right now. Sometimes they might just kind of blend together in areas, but just take your time to try to get a basic shape that looks like your hand. And it's okay if you make mistakes or if you need to kind of modify it later. That's fine. Mine is going to be something like this. I think my pinky needs to come out some more. So, all right. And I'm not crazy happy with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is just with my eraser, just kind of come in and make whatever revisions that I need. I think I put that little bump a little too high. So I'm going to put it right here. Okay. And that's fine for now. It's not perfect, but we can come back and kind of revise that up later. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start adding our shades of light and dark and that sort of thing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and create a new layer, and I'll just call this one hand darks. Actually, I don't know. I'll just call this darks area right there. And then maybe, or shadows would probably be better. And then I'll make a new layer for highlights. Let's start with our highlights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to add this color to my swatches just in case I forget it. I'll just call this hand base. So if I ever need to find it again, it's going to be able to be gotten in my swatches, which are right here. And there it is, it's hand base. So with this one, let's go ahead and do the highlights. Let's just go up here a teeny bit, maybe to about there. And let's add the light areas. So now you're just going to look at your hand. And what I should have done, I should have made this bigger. This is kind of a lot of canvas for such a small hand. But so hopefully you'll learn from my mistake. And I'm going to come in now and I'm just going to start adding in, the highlights. And I'm going to do this with a very soft brush. My hardness is going to be all the way down. I'm going to pull the flow down to maybe like something really low, like 3%. And I'm going to find the areas on my hand that are just needing a little bit of highlighting. And when I look at my hand, I actually see that it has a bit more color, and it's actually maybe a little bit more in the yellow range. So let's try this. Okay. And I'm going to come in here and do the same thing to this finger. And let's just come down here and add some of the shade there. Just looking at my hand, I'm looking at all the areas that are pretty light. And I know this part of my thumb has definitely got some light hitting it. And right there, let's come in and add it to this one. Okay. I'm just doing a very fast job here, but you're seeing that maybe the hand is starting to look a little bit more like it's got some shape to it, more or less. This whole area seems to be pretty lit up, so I'll do that. All right. Now on the, obviously on the shadows, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to come in and just kind of add the dark areas. So I'll start back with my swatches. I'll go back to what I had before for that hand color. And now I'm just going to go the opposite. I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to use a pretty small brush. And obviously this whole area is in shadow, so probably need to even be darker. So I'm going to come in here and add those shadows. Looks like the tip of the finger. And there, there's like little wrinkles and stuff you're going to want to add. This finger, really dark right there. This one actually kind of comes out more. So I might have to come back to my base and just kind of, like, I can go to my base right now and just say, oh, you know what, this actually extends further than I actually had before. So let me pull this back up. Just kind of bring that finger out a little bit longer. Before you really get to your shading, you probably want to take the time to do that. I'm just going to kind of going through this quickly just for the sake of time. Oops. The flow needs to go back down. So I'll go ahead and take the time to do that now. And you can pause it and fast forward if you want to just kind of see where I go from here. I'm not going to take as much time on this as you should. But you can see it's starting to kind of take the shape of a hand. Put some wrinkles right here. I got a line that goes like that. And it kind of extends all the way to here. Let's see. This finger. Wrinkle, wrinkle. Got the shape of the nail right there. Put a little shadow on. And kind of right there. Let's do the same thing to this one. Kind of comes inside my finger here. You just got to look and see where are the parts that are creating the most shadows and just do it. It's okay if this isn't turning out perfectly. There's going to be lots of opportunities to kind of fix it up later. We're just kind of starting out with our basics right here. And I'm going to come in with the eraser and just kind of clean up some of the shapes back down on the hand base layer. All right, so now I'm gonna go back to my highlights and I'm just gonna continue to add some lighter colors, particularly like the tips of the nails. I think they really need that. Pull my flow up for like just the very edge of those nails. And in my hand, I can't even see this nail, so I'm leaving that one. Just gonna add that there. And it actually has kind of a dark line around the nail as well. So using a smaller brush, I'll kind of come in here, and you might want to, at this point, turn your flow up a little bit, but just to shape those out. And I see that I kind of have, ooh, that's a little much. Kind of have a line in some of these areas, like right there. Right, come down here. Let's add that. And that kind of goes like that. All right. Just kind of go through with the dark areas again and add some of those wrinkles a little bit more detailed. Let's come in here and just kind of shape that up. Just pay attention to, where are those wrinkles, and really the whole point, the main idea of this is just keep looking at your hand and deciding where do you see things on your hand. So add that. And in my darks, I think I'm going to need to go a little darker. I'm noticing that there's just some areas that are not quite hitting the level of darkness that I really want. So I'm going to come in and just kind of blend those in, because it really is pretty black underneath at the bottom of my hand, particularly in these areas. And again, depending on the way the light is hitting your hand, yours might look totally different as far as the placement of all that. All right. Adding these wrinkles, and again, I'm just constantly looking at my hand to see what it actually looks like. So, at this point, I'm probably going to add details. Maybe I'll just put like, I don't know, a detail here. I have a ring, so maybe I'll take the time on this one. And there's actually a little gap right there I didn't quite get. It's kind of hard to get that. But if I wanted to go back to my base and just keep making adjustments, I could. I'm not really crazy with the way this is shaped right here, so maybe I'll do that real quick. I'll just use the color picker to pull that up and just kind of go. It comes a little bit more like that than I think I originally show. And then I'd probably need to come in with my shadows again, just using the color picker to just kind of pull those in. Lower flow is going to be better there. All right. Get those wrinkles. Okay. It doesn't really blend very well. I probably should have done that better. And then maybe this needs to kind of come down more. That. Okay, so as far as the details, we can add a ring. So I'm just looking at my own ring, trying to match that color. Something probably around here. I don't know, that's tough. And that goes right about there. And then, oops. Let's try shaping that a little bit better. And then, of course, that has highlights and things on it. So to get those extra details, I probably need to zoom in and let's go darker here. a little bit more in the orange range. Okay. And that's actually looking a little green. So let me pull away from that a little bit more. Let's fill that in. Yellow. It's more orange. Again, I'm just looking at my own ring and just trying to match it up as much as I can. A couple of highlights right in the middle. And here. And it kind of extends around a little bit. So I'm going to try to get that to wrap like it does. Pull those highlights in, kind of blend them. A couple more dark spots over here. Just kind of reflecting. So let's see what that looks like from far away. It's not bad. All right. And then like veins, you know, they actually kind of have like this bluish tinge to them, which is pretty tricky to get right here. So I'm definitely going to need to keep this on a very low flow. And I think just kind of right about there. It's not really the blue that I'm going for. It didn't quite work. So let me just pull it down more to this range. Okay. And there's like a vein right there. And I have very veiny hands, so yours may not need any, really. And then like after this, putting in like blood vessels, I kind of just do like a highlight layer. Oh, we already have a highlight layer. Sorry, this is going to be more like for the reds though. So let me just take some really reddish stuff right here, and with a big brush and maybe like a splotchy one. I don't know. I don't know. You could mess with it if you want, but really low flow. And I'm just gonna kind of add in. Let's go even redder. I'm gonna just add in some of those red spots, particularly like right here on my hand. There's kind of some red. Just wherever you have lots of blood vessels. So like down here at the bottom of my hand, just kind of blend all those in. Got a spot right here, just the whole thing. And then just kind of focus on the areas that kind of need it more. Definitely have some red right there. Got a little tan over spring break. Right up here. You know, you can easily overdo this. You probably should do this on a different layer. I shouldn't have done this on the highlights because if I need to erase it, I don't want to erase the highlights themselves. So there, and just kind of blend all this in. All right, so this is no, Monet, but it's not bad. Create a new layer down here, and if I wanted to do like, I don't know, I have my hand on my knee right now, so if I wanted to draw my pants, maybe that would make this interesting. So let's go up to full flow. I'm throwing this in the bottom layer, so I don't need to worry it because I'm working in layers. That's what's nice about layers. So you don't have to worry about trying to go around your hand or whatever. And this is a nice opportunity as well to like draw in the shadows that can kind of give it a little extra coolness to it. So there is my pants, and highlights and stuff as well on your pants or whatever your table, whatever it is your thing's on. Oops, too much. Let's go like that and that and that, just to give those like little wrinkly spots in there. All right, and some darks as well, right underneath, little shadow. Okay, and right on the side here, got some shadows, and right through here, there, and there. All right, not bad. And then I want to maybe I even want to come in and like add the shadows of my hands. Very, very dark. So come in here. This will really kind of make it pop out, give it a little 3D look. I'm just looking at my own hand and just seeing where the shadows are, and it seems to be right about there. That's, oh, and then right down here. All right, that's cool. And then maybe, you know, underneath that, I have like a desk. So if I wanted to draw that, it's kind of a palish yellow color. Let's go a little less saturated and a little bit more yellow. I want that to stand out from my leg. And let's get that to just, oh, let's go full flow. Cool. And maybe just to make it look a little bit more interesting, that's actually not bad. This actually has some texture on it, but, you know, whatever. So there it is. There's my hand on my leg in front of my desk. Hopefully you guys can do something similar. And, you know, remember that we're just learning here. And if you're not much of an artist, that's okay. But we're trying and we're growing, and you're doing your best that you can. And you can always come in and just keep making changes. At some point, honestly, I might take all these layers that are hands and just merge them. And then if I wanted to do like some more changes and stuff, I can just use my color picker and nice slow flow and just kind of help me blend some of the colors. I don't need to worry about layers anymore. It's just at some point this might become a little easier when you're getting to like the fine tuning and stuff. Really zoom in and take your time on this, especially the areas. You know, you can start off like I did, just kind of sloppy and fast, and then you can just kind of go through and eraser here and just kind of shape it up and just really get it to look better and better. And as you can see, you know, this still has a lot of work to go, but it's not bad. Starting off where we started and where we're at now, it's actually, I think I'm pretty happy with, you know, for just a really amateur quick drawing. There you go. So let's see what you guys can come up with. All right. Take care.